Hello and welcome to Immigration USA with Kathia. Today I want to talk to you about several news that have impacted the life of immigrants in this past week. The newest decision is the decision of the Supreme Court to halt or to stop the decision of a previous judge to stop the removal of people of immigrants to third countries. What is a third country? Is the country where these people are not from. So the government had been trying to deport people to different countries, wherever these countries would accept them, because their own countries were not willing to accept them. For example, if somebody was from Cuba or from Venezuela and they had committed a crime, then Cuba or Venezuela would not accept them. Then the government was trying to send them to El Salvador, to the SECOT, or to Sudan, where there was a jail where they could accept them. The immigrants had filed suit, and during the lawsuit, they had argued that they had been denied due process. Due process is when we allow a person who is fighting for their freedom to explain why they shouldn't be treated that way. They shouldn't be sent to the third country. So anyways, the judge had said, yes, it's a violation of due process to send someone to a country other than their home country without first giving them the opportunity to defend themselves. And at least they should be given 10 days to explain why they cannot go to this other country. Well, the Supreme Court today has decided that while the appeal is pending, the government is allowed to deport these people to whatever country will accept them. And this is for people who have been convicted of a crime. This is for people who have a criminal record, who have been found guilty of some type of serious crime. But it's extremely sad day, because the Constitution says that everybody has the right of due process, and that includes immigrants. And now the government, the Supreme Court is siding once again with the government, and I think this decision is wrong. The dissent was written by Justice Sotomayor, who says it's exactly what I just told you now, that it is wrong, that what the Supreme Court, the decision is the wrong decision. And it's basically giving them an absolute power to the government, who is not supposed to have an absolute power. So that's a really bad decision, and it sends a strong message to every immigrant who is in the United States, who has a criminal record, who is from a country that may not receive them, that if they are caught by ICE, they are going to be taken to whatever country, and it could be much worse than leaving the United States voluntarily. So if you have a criminal record, if you're an immigrant and you have a criminal record, please talk to counsel, talk to a lawyer today, and consider whether it's probably better to self-deport than to wait for ICE to take you to Sudan or to the SECOT. So beware. The second news are not as bad as the first one as I gave you. Kilmer Abrego is here fighting for his freedom. A federal judge has said that he should be bailed out. He should be freed. He's right now under detention of the federal government for the accusations that the government is doing against him for human trafficking. And Kilmer Abrego says, well, none of that is true. I've never been convicted of human trafficking. So, and the federal judge is considering that all the evidence that they have against Kilmer Abrego are from people who are in jail, who are receiving the benefit of getting out of jail sooner if they testify against Kilmer Abrego. So it's that the federal judge doesn't think they have a criminal case against Kilmer Abrego, and for that reason, the federal judge says you got to let him go. You have to free him. Well, the government doesn't want to do that. So the government says, well, even if in criminal court we cannot win the case, well, ICE and ICE still can detain him just for being undocumented and keep him in detention until he goes to that deportation process. So that's the situation. But in this case, Kilmer is winning in the courts. So that's we need to keep fighting. That's the reason. I know we don't win in every case, but we win in some. And in those that we win, we are touching the life of one immigrant. And so for that reason, immigrants should fight in court whenever they can. The other story where we can see that we're winning in court is the case of Mahmud Khalil. Mahmud Khalil is the legal permanent resident who is a student of Columbia University who protested against Israel for the Palestine people, and he's been in detention for several months, and 2 days ago he was freed. A federal judge also ordered the government to let him free. And so right now he needs to go through the deportation process, but he's going to do it from his house. So that's another evidence that if we fight in court, we still stand a chance to show that the Constitution is to protect immigrants in the basic rules of law. So we need to keep fighting. We need to keep fighting. Now with this new war, all the focus of the country has moved from immigration to the war and how the war can affect all of us, because the consequences of going to war are going to touch the lives of every American in the United States. First, because it's going to increase the prices of crude oil, and that alone it's going to increase the prices of everything in the United States. Second, because a lot of people in our military are going to send out to fight to protect the United States. And that's going to touch the lives of many immigrants. Many, many, many immigrants in the United States are the parents or the siblings of military members. And those are only two of the many consequences of going to war. So right now, everybody is concerned about the war, and nobody's talking anymore about immigration, but we need to keep fighting the good fight. We need to keep trying to touch the lives of American citizens who are not going to be happy knowing that their communities are being destroyed because of these terrible policies of immigration, where they're not going after criminals. They're going after regular mothers and fathers who are doing nothing but working in a country that provides them jobs because they need their hardworking hands. So those are the news for this week. Please stay tuned. Please help me share the information with other immigrants. The immigrant community needs to be informed so they can protect themselves the best way. Thank you.